Now the bit that I've been waiting for, I don't know whether you have, but your input. So I think what I've been told, last time we did one of these sessions, we asked for some inputs on what the barriers are in terms of the technology challenges we face. Just to assure you that that has not been lost or it's not gathering dust. It's been used, I think, in the design of some of the technology features of the new building. There will be a roadshow, though, with the technology-specific focus in February, where we can get into more detail on that. So look out for invites for that. Unfortunately, it won't be completely replacing the Swift platform, which would have helped us yesterday, and I'm sure will. But there will be some definite enhancements that will make people's lives easier. So I'd encourage you to go along to that. So today, we've got a slightly different ask. And I feel like Ainsley Harriott now when I ask this. But under your chair, you should have not a green tomato and a red pepper, but a pink or a green card. Clearly lost on some people that are too young to remember. But what we want you to do now is to help us choose the names of two of the places that people will hopefully visit very often, the cafe and the restaurant. So, restaurant options. We have a short list of names, and I'm told this clicker will help me. It does, very good. The Hive. And I'm told the Hive links to the buzzy nature of the ground floor and is, of course, a nod to our strong links to Manchester. Very good. I don't know who wrote this, but it sounds good. Nourish. Reflects our purpose that we're in the healthcare business. And, of course, the Kitchen. Does what it says on the tin. Okay, so if you could just reflect on that for a moment, I'm going to ask you to hold up the green card for those people that want to vote for the Hive. Right, am I supposed to count these? Yeah. Okay, very good. I think we have a winner. Sorry, I couldn't say that. We're adding them up to next week and then the online, so we have to count. Have you counted? Wow, it's like Rain Man. Very good, thank you, Sharon. Okay, number 2, Nourish. You know what, I'm going to vote with you. I think that was excellent. Just 2. Oh, we have another 2 here. 4, okay. Very good. Okay, and then finally, the Kitchen. Like it. Does what it says on the tin. Very good, 4, 5. Excellent. I'm looking for some votes at the back, but any votes? No. Okay, thank you. Right, now for cafe options. I feel like a very poor bingo caller. Cafe B. Links nicely with the Hive. I'm not quite sure how it does, but it does. Oh, B, very good. Common sense is anything but common, is what my wife tells me. Cafe Thrive, is that because it rhymes with the Hive? No, because it goes nicely with Nourish and the health and well-being theme. Indeed it does. And then finally, the Lounge. A good pairing with the Kitchen and a good home idea. I thought it was because people are lounging around. Okay, can we start with Cafe B? Very good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, ready? Good. Okay. Cafe Thrive. I'm going to vote with you again. Okay, 3. And then finally the Lounge. Oh, wow. Very good. Okay, have we counted up, Sharon? So clearly we're going to be deducting the number of attendees from the number of votes, and we'll find out the people... No, joking. If you have any better suggestions or other suggestions, then please shout them out. But I believe these have been pretty well shortlisted. So we'll add these to the votes from the next session and also online. And I think we'll announce the results week commencing the 5th of February. And then we'll get the signage and everything else sorted. So thank you for that. Very good. Okay, we're now going to move into the question and answers session, which is your opportunity to ask things that are on your mind. So what we're going to do to start with, we'll try and collect lots of questions and then it'll give people that are answering them time to pad out in their head exactly what they're going to say. No, really. Now, I want to make sure we capture everything, and then if we don't have time to respond to everything, what I want to make sure is that we respond fully to everyone in writing. So, if I can start the ball rolling with the Q&A. Has anyone got a question they'd like to ask? Catherine Jordan at the back. I don't think you'll need a mic.
No, we need it for the film.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
She'll take that in the way. No.
Mark, like you, I'm probably most interested in our customer-facing staff. I know that we're going to be talking about technology in the future, but when you guys talk about agile, even within neighborhoods right now, it's hard for our customer-facing staff to be agile. What's going to be different in the new building for them?
So, thank you, Catherine. What's going to be different for our customer-facing colleagues in the new building? Great question. Thank you. Next one, please. Hi.
Hi, it's just based on what you've presented today. So how often are the tours? Because our manager's requested for our team to do a tour 3 times and not heard anything. Okay. My second question was, we've not received our personal travel plan, so how do we request one?
Okay, great. Thank you. So two questions there. I think we've got those, Angeline. Yeah. Thank you. Play. Oh. Oh.
Hi, I'm Janice. I'm one of the cardiac nurses. We have a lot of personal calls that we have to make with members. What is the soundproofing going to be like in the new buildings? Because at the moment they're incredibly noisy.
Yeah, good question. Thank you. So soundproofing, Angeline. Great, thank you. I've got the easy job.
Hi, you mentioned that within neighbourhoods there'll be a number of teams and it'll all be on a hot desking basis. So in practical terms, will you have to book your desk each day? Will there be a new system? And what happens if it says it's full? What do you do then?
Okay, great. Thank you. We'll have a pause in a minute and we'll start to answer some and then we can get more time for more. Thank you.
Karen, just behind you there. Hi, I just had a question about the gym. So I noticed it wasn't on the slideshow today in terms of what the plans were.
Yep.
I had heard a rumour that it was staying here in the conservatory, and I just wondered what the reasons were for not including it over in Bupa Place.
Great. Good question. Thank you. If we take one more for now and then we can start to answer. Thank you.
Hi, the eternal question of parking has not been spoken about. Sorry.
And what is specifically about parking? Do you want to just elaborate and then we can...
Where we're going to park, who gets a pass. At the minute, we're having to have someone let us in to the VHC. We haven't even been swapped over to the new cards, and I believe my team in particular are not going to be moving till the end of the year. So.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, let's pause and then we'll start answering some of these questions. So, Angeline, should
I read them out so you don't have to navigate my writing?
Fill these out, yeah.
So, it's already difficult for our customer-facing teams. Can you tell me what's going to be different in the new building? Catherine's question.
Great.
That one. Okay, so in the new building, all of the customer-facing teams will be going on to new machines. So you know that there was no refresh program this year, and every single computer in that new building, every single desktop will be brand new. So I don't know if any of you have actually had the opportunity to try the new machines. We've got a couple on display in VHC and one over there. So our wish is that we go on to Windows 10. There is a project in the organisation at the moment which is looking at upgrading the operating system from Windows 7 to Windows 10. If that happens, that will be absolutely fantastic for us because it will mean that you get a different kind of profile, which means you can log on to any machine and there won't be a problem. If we don't get Windows 10 in time, the machines that we have will be upgradable to Windows 10, but they'll go in as Windows 7. But because they're new, they're different type of technology, they're mini PCs, so they don't have the whizzing disk, they actually operate much quicker and they won't have all of the legacy profile. Talking, I kind of got that word out. I'll be able to set the legacy profile issues that you currently have. So in a nutshell, whatever, you get a new machine. In a perfect world, it'll be Windows 10. We can't quite get there, it'll be Windows 7. But whichever operating system we go with, the system will itself cure a lot of the issues that customer-facing colleagues face because of the age of the technology and the principal tool that you use, which is Swift.
Can I add to that, just to summarise, for anyone that asks, you've been here, we need Windows 10, right? We need Windows 10. We need Windows 10, right? So that's why it's been put as the number one technology priority in the short term. That will make it quicker, and that will make it easier to serve customers, right? And that will make the downtime that you're logging on far quicker. Will it fix Swift? Unfortunately not. I tried to get that in, but got laughed out of town. Windows 10 is the key for us, right? So we have to make that work. Yeah, but it's got the biggest visibility it can possibly have, but that will help us a lot with the speed of access to systems. Okay, thank you, Karen.
Okay. So next question was frequency of tours. So I think we can probably talk about that one. And if you're one of the people who haven't received your personal travel plan, where do you go to get it?
Okay, so I can answer that one. So we have the tours on a monthly basis. We're quite limited in terms of the number of people we can take on a tour. Number one, because it's a building site, and for health and safety reasons, we're restricted in terms of people we can bring onto that site that aren't actually working on that site. And number two, we need to keep the building on track, and we don't want to disrupt the build or the plan and progress that we're making. We actually offer the tour to everybody. It's extremely popular. We're heavily oversubscribed, mainly because we can only offer 12 places every month. That is the main reason that we're making the 360-degree film about the tour, so that everybody can get that tour experience, albeit sat at a desk. Okay, so in terms of how we select those people, it's a randomised picker, if I'm honest with you, just to make it fair and equitable. And those places are offered on an individual basis rather than a team basis. So that's exactly how it works. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does, but could you just, when the 360 tour?
So that will be published early February. We filmed it on Sunday. It's been edited as we speak. So, in fact, these guys here who are filming you right now are working on that. So we will basically make that available online so that you can go and have a look around and see what it's all about for yourself. So it was travel plan, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
personal
go to
travel
parking,
plan.
yeah. Personal travel plans. So we extended the travel survey to the end of the year. It was run by Transport for Greater Manchester. I've been assured by Transport for Greater Manchester it takes about 3 weeks for your travel plan to come through. If that hasn't come through, can you please send me an email to the Bupa Place mailbox, and I will follow that up personally with Transport for Greater Manchester. Because anybody who filled it in while we had the roadshows in November should have received their plan by now. However, if you did it a little bit after that or towards the end of the year, it might just be being analysed and being generated right now. But please email the Bupa Place mailbox, which is bupaplace@bupa.com.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah, we weren't actually involved in completing the travel plan, so how would we go about doing that?
You weren't involved in completing the travel plan. So what we're talking about is a travel survey. We offered all colleagues the opportunity to fill in a personalised survey, which means you can put in where your postcode is, your kind of needs in terms of transport, what you currently do, and then Transport for Greater Manchester generated a plan based on all of the different modes of transport available to you, and basically sent that back to you as an email. So there was a roadshow that was run, and it was also put into the Beat and in our own dedicated newsletter. We'll make the link available again. Let me talk to Greater Manchester because it sounds like people are interested. So yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
So
Thank you.
commitment, link will be sent out by latest next week, right? Make sure everyone gets a chance to do it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So next question was about soundproofing, because we know a number of our teams need to have confidential information. Thank you, Leslie.
Okay, so can you hear me okay? Yeah. There's several things. Actually, there's loads of things. So on the technology side, anybody who hasn't got soundproof headsets will get them, so that will help. The desk sizes are huge, so obviously that, and the screens in between. But there's also soundproofing in above all of the ceiling tiles. Round the atrium itself, all of that timber is soundproof timber. and every one of the meeting rooms is soundproof, both the walls and the ceilings. So to give you sort of this is what our design manager from Morgan Sindel will tell you. So a classroom is dB rated at 27 dB. Our rooms are 35. So if you stand in one of those meeting rooms, the road is outside, you've got building work going on, you can't hear it through the windows. So it's as soundproof as it can possibly be. We've also got, so you've seen the sort of the little dotted about collaboration areas where we've got sofas. We've actually got acoustic baffling above that, which catches the sound. We've also got that in all of the staff areas, so above the T points to try and dampen the sound and above the social spaces. So we've done our best on soundproofing.
Good. Thank you, Leslie. Okay, so our next one was very much about desk bookings. Who do you think is going to take that one if it's Karen? So the question was, will I have to book my desk every day? And then second question was, what happens if my area is full when I'm trying to book a desk?
So we have a desk booking system which is coming in. It's actually already been introduced in 2 sites across Bupa. It's called Condeco. Every meeting room and every desk will be on that booking system. You, dependent upon your role, if you've got the kind of role where you're in every day, then yeah, you'll book a desk either yourselves, or we'll create a mechanism for doing that, which involves how your shifts are planned. But as an individual, you'll go into and you'll book a desk in your team space. If it's not a desk you need for the day, you're going to book a meeting room, or if you're going to be sort of like hopping in and out of meetings, informal meetings, you don't need to book a desk, you can use a collaboration area. Now, the way that we are working with teams to create the neighbourhoods, given the flexibility of work and the fact that you don't have every member of every team in every day, there should not be many occasions where you run out of space. It should be a rarity, in fact. And clearly, if you can't book a desk, next to your zones are lots and lots of other areas, touch-down desks, which you can use to come into the workplace and be right near your colleagues if that very rare instance happens.
Karen, I'm conscious of the time. I know Angeline's going through the questions. Can we have a go at responding to the car park question? Because I know that will be on a lot of people's minds, and then I'm happy to add to it as well. Might as well try and get that one squeezed in while we can, right?
We'll update on gym, was the other one, which we won't forget about, and the next one was parking. Is there going to be enough space, and what's the process for selection?
Okay, so we are reducing space, as you know. It is a legal requirement, so this is not a Bupa decision to offer you fewer spaces. It's a brand new building. It is subject to having a sustainable travel plan. We don't get our planning permission finally approved unless we've got one in that the local authority approves. That sustainable travel plan, based on the size of that building and the regulations that have changed since we took occupancy here, indicates that we have parking spaces of 722, which is a reduction from the 907 that we currently have. So, at the moment, depending on where you work, you will be allocated a space in a different way. It is not a fair way of allocating what's available. So we're implementing a brand new way of allocating the parking spaces, which is completely fair. So everybody will register for the car parks that we have. So we're going to have Batley's, VHC and the Lowry. So you will all be eligible to register to access the free parking at those locations. So we're not allocating specific spaces, it's access to free parking. So there are some priorities. So if you are a blue badge holder, you will get access to a space. If you are car share, there'll be separate spaces that are reserved for car share. And to ensure that our colleagues who are actually working late shifts are still given access to free parking, then there will be spaces that are made available for people whose shift starts 10 o'clock and beyond. In order to register for it, we're going to have to set a process up. The process has not yet been designed, but basically we'll have to cancel and re-register everybody who's currently allocated parking. Now, the problems that are currently going on in VHC, can I just say, have got nothing at all to do with this project. The owners of the car park, Peel, have implemented a new system. So that's where you've got this congestion and blockage and cards not working. Bupa itself will have its own access to the VHC car park from from the 1st of April, which will mean you'll actually have a display there that tells you whether Bupa parking is full or not, to save you getting up to the barriers or driving round and not being able to find somewhere. It'll actually be properly controlled, and there will be cards issued to you to enable you to access that. So at the moment, we've got a temporary arrangement where there's somebody on the car park letting you in, but from the 1st of April, we'll have our own access, and you'll have cards which actually allow you in to access the Bupa spaces.
Karen, let me just add to the car parking bit, right? I get, having been here a few weeks now, this is on a lot of people's minds, right? We're going to have less spaces than we've got today, yeah? We don't know, none of us know yet exactly how it's going to work, right? And I get, until we're in there, there'll be a level of angst to some people that actually means that it causes them a bit of stress until we get there. We haven't got the perfect solution for this, right? That fixes, it gives a space for every single person every single day. Our job, collectively, the leadership teams, you know, I would say especially, is to work with people over the next few months before we get there to try and make the best use of the space we've got. The space we've got is a space we've got. Coming from external, you know, having spaces for everyone to park in every day is a very rare thing, right? Now, I don't want to give something on one hand and take it away with the other, but I'd rather be honest and transparent. This is something we have to work through, right? The number of spaces is less than now. We've got different ways of working, agile ways of working, that will change the mix and the way that people are actually in the office. For some areas more so than others. Some of the customer-facing areas, you'll be in the office more of the time than maybe some of the non-customer-facing areas that will be more time flexing at home. So we just need to suck it and see. But please, the thing I would reassure you is it's top of mind for people like me and other leaders that I know what a big deal it is. Okay, and that's the point I want to make sure we land.
Yep. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the point, is that, yes, anybody who wants one.
Yeah.
Because some people don't, you know, some people walk to work, they'll never ask for a pass. We'll do the registration at one time, so it doesn't matter when you move in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fairness is, yeah.
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 Fairness is the principle, right? You're not going to walk away from here thinking, oh, fantastic, the car parking space things. I'd rather be honest, right? We need to work it out, right? We need to work it through. But just keep raising the issues. But the assurance I give you is it's top of mind for everyone. Okay?
Yep.
The gym.
The gym, final one.
Great question. I want to ask that question as well.
So the gym was originally, I think in, you know, design number 2, it was in the building. And then we got to a point where we said, actually, that's not going to give us enough flexibility in terms of other types of working for the number of people we've got. So we've got a lease on this building for another 99 years or something. So we're keeping this. Kind of this side of it will be refurbished as a gym, so it'll be much bigger than the gym we've got now, and we're hoping to get some studios in there as well, so that we can have classes and do, you know, not in the middle of the gym. The other side will be a flexible conferencing facility. So if you can't find a space in Bupa Place, there's going to be a huge amount of space in there to have meetings with all your audio-visual equipment, etc., and some catering. So there's hospitality as well. So we thought that was the best use of the space for our people.
Good.
And you get an extra cool down or warm up when you're walking back to the office. What more
Do
could
your
you want?
stretching along the way. Good. Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone. I think we're just a few minutes over, but just really great to have all of your participation, all your questions. We really hope that you enjoyed the session. Most importantly, we hope that you take back any information here back to your teams today. Please do encourage people who weren't able to attend today to attend the follow-up session that we've got next week. And as we said, from the video, etc., we'll be circulating the videos and the Q&As again. Sharon also mentioned, if you've got any other questions, please can you send them through to bupaplace@bupa.com, and also go on the Yammer group. We want as many of these questions fleshed out as early as possible so that we can give you the responses that you need to take back to your teams. Okay, thank you everyone, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.